Hi folks, as you can see in the video description, today we are going to make a Newswatch and we will be using videos and news from Euronews. We'll be commenting on them. The links will be in the description. Also, please remember, I am using these videos for exclusively this my video to comment on it and to serve as a base for my video, and I will not monetize this video in any way or fashion, okay, just to be clear. So without further ado, let's look into the first news piece that I think we should all watch, because in a couple of months, when this clown is kicked out of power, we are going to remember this and we are going to talk about it, and we are not going to let him forget about it. So without further ado, let's look at the clown show. Here he is. You know him.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Órban in Budapest on Monday as he continued his tour of Central Europe to bolster ties with Trump allies in the region. The meeting came a day after the U.S. and Hungary signed an energy cooperation agreement, which was hailed as the golden age of their bilateral ties. Rubio's visit comes at a crucial time as Hungary prepares to head to the ballot boxes in what is seen as a consequential general election in mid-April. Trump has already endorsed Órban in the upcoming race, touting him as a strong leader who puts Hungary's benefit above all. Rubio was asked to comment on the future of U.S.-Hungary relations in the event of Órban's loss, who has been trailing in national polls.
The president has an extraordinarily close relationship to the prime minister. He does, and it has had tangible benefits in our relationship. I'm not going to speculate about the future. You know, what happens in this country is up to the voters of this country.
This guy's voice gives me, you know, that feeling you have when someone is so annoying at you that you just want to continuously bash their head in without stop. If I was a violent person, I would be saying that, but I am not. Hence, I didn't say it.
To determine and decide, and we love the people of Hungary. But I'm not. But there's no reason to sugarcoat it. I'm going to be very blunt with you. The prime minister and the president have a very, very close personal relationship and working relationship. And I think it has been incredibly beneficial to the relationship between our two countries.
I'm the longest serving leader of the opposition with 16 years, so I spent 16 years as leader of opposition. What does it mean? It means that sometimes I lose, sometimes I win. So don't afraid what will be if we are not winning, because it's regularly happened here, at least 4 times already. So there is no need to be afraid what will happen in Hungary. The Hungarian democracy is very strong.
Leader of the main opposition,
reason why Hungary is going to get rid of you, Mr. Órban.
Peter Magyar responded to these remarks, extending an invite to Rubio on the 23rd of October, when the country celebrates the 70th anniversary of the 1956 revolution. The Tisza party president noted that the top U.S. diplomat will, however, be, quote, greeted by a different Órban, Anita Órban, Tisza's future foreign minister.
Okay,
U.S. Secretary of
let me just stop this. Let's focus on me. Hi, I'm back. Okay, now let me deconstruct what happened here. If you are outside of Europe and you don't know this, the Hungarian people are now getting more trouble than what Órban is worth. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? He is creating massive problems to Hungary and its people, and it has come to we have arrived at a place that they are in the European Union. Okay, they are still a part of the European Union and all of that, but whenever Hungary blocks a decision, they are only wasting our time, because we will just continue on. And this has happened with weapon procurement. This has happened with everything. And also, Mr. Órban, his country, the EU, is simply fining him. And you can say, oh, they won't pay the fines. Well, of course they won't. They don't want to pay them. But they are receiving cohesion funds from all of us. And all of us, I will include Portugal, my country, because we are already contributing to the common pot, meaning we give more than we receive. And I'm proud of that because we received money for a long time. It helped us on all aspects of our economy. It was undoubtedly a very important contribution to our economy that's getting better. Okay, despite receiving such comments as this is funny. Okay, to me it made me laugh. I made a comment in some American video about the World Cup and how and this is the truth, I know people that are nuts about football. No, it's not soccer. Okay, soccer doesn't exist. At least to me, it's football. That is the only thing I will ever say about that damn idiocy. Okay, what the Americans practice is not football. It's a grown man wearing a flimsy armor with a weird ball running around in a field, hitting each other. Okay, and I like rugby. Rugby. Sorry, I even played a bit of rugby when I was young. Okay, I'm built for it. Continuing, but you know, and I made a comment about football, and I said that I knew a club of people, and I do know a club of people that look. It's like this. It's people my age and older than me, some a bit much older than me, and younger also. And whenever there is these competitions, like for example the Euro Cup or the World Cup or whatever, when one of the big Portuguese clubs, especially Benfica, goes and play outside of the country, they all gather together, okay, and they organize things to go in trips to watch games and all of that. Okay, they rent sometimes here in Europe they will rent a bus, or if it's outside of Europe they will go by plane. But they organize things because it's easier this way. Because it's much easier to organize a trip for about almost 50 people. I didn't want to exaggerate, but probably more than 50 people. It's much easier to organize a travel of 50 people than just 3 or 4 people, okay? Because you can easily find a hotel that knows it's going to get that business to rent you rooms for everybody, okay? You can travel also, you can travel much easier, same way. You can rent tourist venues, whatever. You understand what I'm trying to tell you. If you don't know how these things work, go look into it and you will see what I'm telling you, it's true. I also worked in that shit, detested it. Luckily it was only 1 or 2 years, but I hated tourism and tourists. I'm sorry. I love you all tourists, you're welcome, but I'm sorry, but I cannot put up with you. It's too much for me, okay? Some were extremely nice and others were complete pricks. So sorry. But I made that innocent comment, just saying, look, I know, and I think I was even answering to someone that I know online that was also commenting on that video, if I recall correctly. Because you see, I'm sorry, but I don't record these things. I remember them, but I don't record them. And probably in a year or something like that, I will forget about it. Because it's meaningless to me. And I said something like that. And some American guy, by the way that he wrote and he spoke typical MAGA. He said, "Oh, you Portuguese, you are always broke," or some shit like that. Just like this, out of the blue. And he didn't even spell Portuguese well. So by the spelling, he was either an American, okay, or he was a Brazilian, because Brazilians, they also have their own version of MAGA, or he was a Brazilian trying to appear like he could speak English. Sorry, I have Brazilian friends. Okay, you know I'm not talking about you, but they also have their MAGAs. They are called the Bolsonaristas, the supporters of Bolsonaro that creep. But and look, when you get comments like these ones of people that don't understand reality, you can easily understand why Mr. Órban is trying to do what he's trying to do, and why Mr. Rubio, little Mark Rubio, that got the cold shoulder at the Munich summit, is doing what he's doing. He's telling the Hungarian people, and I know the Hungarian people are not dumb, not at all. Okay, Hungary has a lot of people that are a lot of them are conservative, Christian people that look, and I have no issues with that, honestly. Okay, my father, he was a deeply Christian man that acted as a Christian. He didn't talk about it. Okay, he's the man that told me that Christians are known by their actions and not their words, meaning talk is cheap. But I have the ultimate respect for a person that tells me I'm a Christian and I follow Christian values, because to me that means that you are a decent person that will not purposely hurt somebody else. But if you are like the MAGAs that use Christianity as an excuse to be evil, then you are not first of all, you are not a Christian, okay? Because if you saw Jesus, you would deport him back to Mexico, even though he is not from Mexico. If you understand what I'm trying to tell you, okay? And then you are not following Christian values. Christian values does not mean to accept rampant immigration without any control, or for example, attacks on family unit and all of that. That is not being. That is not. That is not okay. If you are defending yourselves against that, man, I agree. But I will not allow you to, for example, in the same sentence that you say that, you attack gay people or transgender people or people that are different from you, because that is not Christian. You can say this. You can say, I don't accept your lifestyle. I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with my lifestyle. But please, I'm just telling you so you won't be offended if I do not want to be with you. Look, that is perfectly acceptable. It's not acceptable, for example, for you to bother someone. Imagine this, bother a gay person that is sitting at a cafe, having their coffee with their friends or whatever. That is not acceptable. It's not acceptable for the owner of the establishment to not serve someone just because they are gay or transgender or different, as long as that person is civil and is acting accordingly to it. But when we get down to this person, this Órban, he uses those values, just like in Poland. There are a lot of them that also do that, okay? And here in Portugal too. Have no doubts about it. They use those people to gain leverage, and then they tell them that I'm on your side, okay? I agree completely with you, and then they associate their agenda. Like for example, Mr. Órban, he associates his agenda of supporting Russia with the agenda of the conservative people that are majority decent people. And right now, with what Mr. Rubio is saying, is that Órban is a very good friend of a pedophile, a criminal, and someone that threatens their allies. So, in my view, I'm glad they are doing this shit. Because this way, every decent Hungarian, when they go to that ballot polls, and if you are a Hungarian and you are listening to me and you support Mr. Órban, remember this. When you go to that ballot vote, if you vote to support this man, you are voting to support someone that is in favor of that criminal in the United States. And more than that, you can tell me, oh, you, Portugal, you also have dealings with them. Of course we have. We need to. Because we still have not been able to get rid of them. Like Germany, we also have a base here. Germany has more than one, but in Portugal we also have a military base of the United States. Didn't you know that? Oh, you didn't. But, well, you should. You should investigate your claims before you start to speak and write some things that I have read and heard. And you might think this. You might think like this. Oh, he's doing the same that he did with Russia, okay, because we need the oil and we need this and we need that. And the truth is, the European Union has offered alternatives to Hungary. And your little Órban is building palaces and giving money to his cronies and family and living off you. And he is also in league with the Russians that did what they did to your country because your country supported the Germans during the war. You were a part of the Axis. Something that people apparently seem to forget too. And if you support this man, then this is why I'm making this video today, okay? If you support this man, you are going to be supporting a criminal. Okay, Hungary sometimes remind me of Serbia, but Serbia, they have actual motives to be very wary of the West, because, and this is my personal opinion, atrocities during the Balkans wars were committed by everyone, but only the Serbs were the culprits. This does not remove the guilt of the Serbs that committed crimes. But my point here is that it wasn't just them. And while others escaped through the cracks, the Serbs got the heat of it. And to me also, and I have said this in another video, I will say it again because it's my personal opinion, I'm entitled to have it. It might not be the opinion everyone would like to hear, but it's mine. The question of Kosovo was not well dealt. The people in Kosovo, they deserved to have their autonomy, they deserve to have their space to be in peace. But by doing this in the way that it was done, which is basically a violent way, what we created is a latent point of troubles in the years to come, in generations to come. And you also created a difficult situation for the Serbs that live in Kosovo. And you created a difficult situation for the people in Kosovo to be able to be left alone and at peace. and to go about with their business. All of this, they have something to scratch on. But Hungary was integrated into the European Union. Hungary received support. The EU did the same thing in Hungary that they did here. They built roads, they built infrastructures, they helped us to lift our economy up. They helped us to create a more free and more peaceful society. And look, you look at Portugal, and almost 90% of the population still declares themselves Catholic. The values are still there. I myself, I'm not a very religious person, but I still have those values. Values like family, like solidarity, okay? All of that. Like the decency, being a decent person. But the reason why, and I have explained this in other videos, the reason why I sometimes am not able to go along, so to speak, with organized religion, it has to do with the fact that these movements, they associate themselves to something that should have been, by principle, by design, something that would bring peace and calm to people, and morality, okay, like, because even an ancient society that was not Christian would know that it's a crime to kill. Okay, it's a crime to murder someone, even when it was even when there was ritual murder, there was a reason for that to happen. A vulgar display of power of killing someone that was not morally correct to no one. But you have this religion, these Abrahamic religions, that give a morality to things, and this allows an extra layer of ethics and morality over things. And I'm not going to discuss religion here with you, okay? I have said this also often. I was raised both Catholic and pagan, so I know both of the sides. They are very peaceful inside of me. I have no issues with it. Both religions have made me a more decent person, at least towards others. No, I try not to hurt anyone. I try not to offend anyone. I just live my life, peace and quiet. I defend myself when I have to. And I try to be a decent person. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that the Hungarians here in these elections, okay, they need to choose. They need to choose what they want. Do you want more of Órban? And look, and he's saying, I was 16 years in blah 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 in the opposition. I will go back and blah 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 blah. He's all, even without knowing that he has lost, he's already threatening you. This says a million about the quality of the moralities of this man. Millions. And I don't know about the Hungarians, but if some fat idiot was threatening me, I would not vote for him. I would vote for the other guy. Whoever he was. Even if I didn't like him that much. Just like in the elections here in Portugal, we had two options for the president. And I have said that I talk about it, and I said I consider them both idiots. Sorry. It's the only word that comes out of my... I don't want to offend them, but it's the only word that comes out of me. We had a right-wing conservative demagogue, and we had a left-wing, also conservative demagogue. Okay, and now we are going to have the president was elected was the left-wing guy. People keep saying, oh, it was the better choice and this and that. Okay, it wasn't the funniest. It wasn't the funniest option, because I would love to see that guy trying to be the president of Portugal. It would be funny. But the issue here is we won't have a strong president. And typically, a president in Portugal needs to be a strong, calm person that can see. Look, there is a reason why whenever someone is elected, the president, they do not have any parties, political parties. From that moment on, they have to stop it. They cannot support party A or party B, because they become the president of all Portuguese. Okay, it's as simple as this. From that moment on, that person is the president of everyone, even those that didn't vote for him. Like me, I didn't vote for him. To tell you the truth, in the second round, I did not vote it, and I will not say who was my candidate, because number one, I don't want to discuss it, and number two, I don't know how it is in some other European countries, but at least around here it's considered extremely rude. But I can say that I didn't vote in neither. I did not went out to vote to or in any of these people, because none of them to me was adequate to be the president of my country. It's as simple as that. And people criticize me. Oh, you're always talking about voting and this and how important it is. Yes, it's important. Okay, but number one, I already knew what was going to happen, because I'm not dumb. And number two, the only thing I would be going to do it would be to put an empty ballot vote. And for that, I prefer to be in the group of the abstention, which was the largest party in these elections, because it sends a message. Sometimes the fact that you don't vote is the message to the powers that be. Okay, and if you don't know that, read a bit about civil disobedience, and you will understand what I am trying to tell you. But again, I'm going to finish up this short video. It's not going to be very long, only half an hour, something like that. Just to tell you this: as you can see right now, the United States continues to try and destabilize Europe. All this parade of Mr. Rubio and his smiles and his support and saying, oh, Órban is a very good guy, vote for him. Okay, this is all to destabilize Europe. And Órban is looking for money. Simple as that, because he needs it. And maybe Mr. Rubio right now, when he arrived here at Hungary, he already maybe this is all allegedly, okay? I don't know what happened, I didn't see, but maybe allegedly he might have brought some spare change to give him. And if I'm being rude, well, I'm being rude. Are you calling Mr. Órban a corrupt? It's all allegedly. He's allegedly an idiot. Okay, but I most certainly do not like him. I don't like petulant, greedy people, or greedy people, point. As for him being fat, well, I'm not particularly slim either. Okay, I could pass as a as a soprano stand-in. Okay, one of those mobsters called Vito. Hey Vito, come here, take care of this business. You know, that's me. All right, we had a couple of laughs, we saw a couple of idiots, and it's time to end this video. thank you very much for watching this. I'm coming back to the Newswatch, going to make a couple of more. Today, no, because I'm a bit tired. If you don't know this, I work all week. Sometimes I'm not going to talk about my work, but suffice to say, sometimes it's a bit tiring and for the noggin. So sometimes when I arrive at home, I'm a bit too tired to do it. Okay, but it's normal. Okay, luckily I'm not sick. My health has been getting better. I will get better, I'm sure. Quoting my father, God willing. And there is nothing wrong in saying that, because whenever you hear someone, for example, wish you good luck or Godspeed or whatever, the only thing they are doing is they are wishing you well. It's these people that claim to be very religious and very, very Catholic. Okay, it's another one from my dad, just to finish this up. My dad used to be deeply suspicious of those women, mainly, and men also, that were always at the church, that were always praying. And I went with my dad to Sunday church, Sunday service. Okay, usually in my hometown, every Sunday at noon there was a mass. And I went with my father until events happened. Maybe someday I'll talk about it. I have hinted about what I did in some comment sections, but let's continue. But my dad used to be very suspicious about those ladies and those men, but it was mainly a lot. Let's say 80% were women and 20% were men that were always at the church praying and being all religious. And then, well, my father, and this happened, and I saw it, my father, when we were distributing our products, and when he saw someone that was in need, my father was perfectly capable of stopping the car and opening our van and giving that person some bread or some cakes or whatever to help them along, or to help the gypsies. A lot of them are nomads, and a lot of them are extremely poor, and a lot of them are very ostracized. Okay, some of them, and I will be honest with this, and I have gypsy friends, so I will speak from what I know. 90% of them are honest people, and there are 10% that ruin the rest, everything for the others. But my dad could give them the bread. Okay, my dad, when we had sometimes we didn't sell the bread or the cakes or whatever, and there are things that we could not use, my dad would give it to whoever needed. He would do that. Okay, he was this is why, maybe this is one of the reasons why his death was so painful to me. It still is. I'll be honest with you, still is. And but he used to detest. He didn't hate. My dad didn't have that in him. He left all the hate in the colonial war. He left it all there. But that he was in that war too. Special op. Uh, and uh, and he used to detest those people because he often told me to not be like those people. Look at them. Something like this, okay? Look at them. They are praying at the church, pretending to be very pious, pretending to be very religious, and then, if when they are outside, they are talking bad about other people in their back. They are not helping anyone. If they see someone in distress or in need, they will even work to make it worse for that person, and they call themselves Christians. Mr. Trump, the MAGAs, all that support him, and support their way of seeing the world. That's the Órban. And the conservatives in Hungary that support this man, they are not Christians. Because if they were, they would be decent people. Just like my dad. Hope to see you Sunday, Dad. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to this video. Sorry if I went a bit emotional at the end. I usually am not this emotional, you know, but I usually swear a lot, but not very emotional. But some days are harder than others. Okay, I hope to catch you all in the next one, and I hope that you like this video. Okay, stay safe.